here in Winnipeg, and this Sunday, the Manitoba Choral Association presents Voices Rising, a choral celebration of Canada's 150th, bringing together 9 choirs along with soloists Simmons, Don Amero, Casimiro Nhussi, along with drummers and dancers. I'm joined now by Muriel Smith, co-MC, and Spencer Duncan, past president. Good afternoon to you both.
Good afternoon.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here in the Classic 107 studios. 2017 has been a year of celebration for us here in Canada, the sesquicentennial anniversary of Confederation, and this concert that the Manitoba Choral Association is presenting is a celebration of the last 50 years since the centennial celebration. And I mean, there's been so much great music in the last 50 years. How did you go about putting this program together and deciding? It must have been a challenge and a lot of fun as well.
It was very challenging to put this together. It was very challenging to pick those
that's
certain
just
pieces, right? But we kind of looked at a cross of music, so from folk music to pop and some rock music, and looked at iconic Canadian writers, from Gordon Lightfoot to Anne Mortifee to Neil Young.
Absolutely.
And across the board, Al Simmons,
Al Simmons.
across the board, and also by picking local arrangers.
Well, I was going to touch on a number of those things, and just looking at that diversities. I mean, 60s ballads, there's some 80s pop in there as well, some early 2000s folk. I mean, if we just look at the first of those periods, like Joni Mitchell and Neil Young and Gordon Lightfoot, like you mentioned, those are some big names. How did you go about finding these choral arrangements of some of their tunes? Spencer, I don't know if you want to speak to that one.
Sure. Well, I'm sorry, the choral community is used to having a door into this particular genre because, choral music is more than Bach and
It sure
Beethoven,
is.
right? And it also, arrangers are always looking for pieces like this to promote choral music itself. So,
do you have a favorite arrangement? If looking through the highlights, I mean, there's some very well-known tunes in there.
A favorite arrangement, you're kind of putting me on the spot. I think for the most part, most of the arrangements are so exciting and that everyone's going to find their own little niche here. I like a number of them. So
of course. And were they mostly local arrangements, Muriel, or was it just from across the Canadian swash of the choral scene?
I think it's not mostly local. We're across, but we do have a good group of local people involved in that.
Well, that really is wonderful. The concert brings together 9 choirs, correct? We were talking about
Correct.
that just off the air. So is each choir going to be performing a piece? Is there going to be a big collective at the end? I mean, I don't mean to put you on the spot and give too much away, but that's such a wonderful group.
Each choir will be performing their own piece, and there will be a big, massive end event. And that's all we're saying.
An event. So truly mark it on the calendar.
And see. It's going to be really a super program all the way through, and that last piece is lots of fun.
I'm sure it's going to be. Go ahead, Spencer.
I have to say, I had an opportunity yesterday to work with one of the choirs that will be singing on and they were working on this last piece that will keep and I assure you that you will be swept up in the wonder of it all.
I'm sure audiences will be. I'm sure it's going to be magnificent and inspiring too, right? I mean, to bring that many together. And then there's also the soloists. I mean, I mentioned them just now in the introduction, but I mean, Al Simmons and Don Amero and Casimiro Nhussi, not your typical maybe classical singers, but how are they fitting into the program?
They're fitting into the program because we're talking about our journey. Our journey as Canadians, and we all have individual and we have collective journeys, and they are actually going to be singing and performing about their journeys as part of the broad Canadian community.
Yeah, so it really offers that personal touch.
Yeah, and we're trying to reach a broader audience, aren't we? Reach out past that choral community. Like Don Amero is a really rising artist,
a rising star.
Yeah, and Casimiro Nhussi, the power and the vibrance in that performance. It's really big.
And he's joined by dancers and drummers as well, right?
Exactly. I want to just go back to Don Amero because this, again, I had the pleasure of working with Don Amero when he was a student. I usually would say that we went to school together, but in this case, I can't fake it. But he got his start to a large extent working in choral music in the schools, and then he went into a dance situation. Then all of a sudden, this sparked something within him. So I think the power, he's a testament to the power of choral music itself.
And that choral collaboration element,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
When looking at the choir, I mean, this is a celebration of Canada 150, but I know that it also talks about looking forward into the future. How do you both foresee the choral scene here in Manitoba? Spencer, ready.
Oh, I'm so excited about this because, we believe that choral music spans a variety of ethnic groups and cultures. And so I believe we see the choral music as being a vehicle whereby we can bring Manitobans together, and we can have dialogue, and we can come together and celebrate that which we have in common, as well as our diversity. So we want choral music to be an integral part of the change that we need within our community.
Muriel, did you have something to add to that? I mean, it's such a vibrant scene that we have here in Manitoba.
We have a vibrant scene in Manitoba, but we really want to make sure that our vibrant scene is inclusive to all of Manitoba. And we really want to work towards that. We have a lot of new people coming.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to bring everybody into the fold. And we do believe that music, and particularly choral music, because that builds those little relationships. Who's beside you?
Yeah, exactly.
And that whole thing. And we want to make sure that brings it into the broader community and share what we have.
And that is the mandate of the Manitoba Choral Association, correct? I was wondering if you could just speak lastly just to the MCA and how it continues to engage choirs from all the regions of Manitoba.
Well, the MCA provides not only opportunities such as the one that we're having this weekend, but has been very active in terms of providing workshops for singers and festivals. We have Choral Fest coming up in a couple of weeks where students get an opportunity to hone their craft and choral directors get a chance to find out where they are in the mix. And then I think more than anything else, if you look at the provincial honor choir that comes together in February, and you see these young people come together from all over the province, it's an opportunity to just bring people together.
And I was an honor choir singer.
Bravo.
And I mean, that's exactly what it was. I mean, Muriel, you're speaking to singing and making connections with your neighbor. And that's what I found. I mean, like, no matter who I was singing beside, you didn't know each other at the beginning of honor choir, but then by the end of it, you're Facebook friends and you're talking to each other and figuring things out and enjoying the music together. I want to thank you both for coming here to the Classic 107 studios, talking a little bit about Voices Rising and the MCA. This Sunday at 7 p.m., the Manitoba Choral Association presents Voices Rising, a collaborative celebration of Canada 150 through choral works of the last 50 years. Taking place at the Centennial Concert Hall, the show brings together soloists, choirs, and what should be a most dynamic show. For more information, where can people go if they're looking for tickets?
They can go to centennialhall.com.
Well, fantastic.
Right? And online for the MCA has information.
Perfect.
For us.
And I'll be sure to tweet something out at Classic 107 FM. Thank you both so much,
Thank you.
Muriel Smith and Spencer Duncan.
Thank you.